Hello everyone, this is Paresh. My full name is Paresh Kumar Samantaray. So I graduated from BSSC in 2019 and I was lucky to interact with the first batch of BSSC. Right now, I am an assistant professor at the Chemical and Materials Engineering Department in the University of Alabama, Huntsville, where we work at the interface of polymers and their interactions with environmental cues. I would like to break down the entire experience into three subtle categories. So, when you join as a fresher and once you grow and evolve, and how you see the environment altogether. So, when I joined as a fresher, the first and foremost thing which distinctly makes BSSC unique was the kind of family kind of experience. When I joined, the most important thing was we had Sunanda ma'am and we had two chairs at that point of time, uh, Dr. Sandhya Vishweshwarya and Dr. Anand Suresh. Both of them looking from a different perspective, very approachable and amicable people. And we have had an interdisciplinary group of faculties who were very open to talk to. So, as a BSSC student with a small group of colleagues joining with us, it was an interactive experience and it was a small family. So, the most important thing which made me very happy and my experiences very concrete was we used to have happy hours very often. So, that was a very engaging moment for us because we used to interact about our day-to-day research, the things beyond it, talk with our seniors, talk with the faculties, talk with the staff, and get a full-faced experience of what is happening in and around the campus. We had very good interactions. We had opportunities to learn things, and of course, went out due to frustration, due to research things and all. So as I navigated slowly through the BSSC curriculum, I realized that it was becoming ever challenging to balance between research and personal life. So sneaking in through these happy hour moments was one of the most cherishable moments, which I think made BSSC unique. And of course, Dr. Suresh had a book club and journal club. So interactively participating in those was something really helpful because it also made us very clear about how to be a compelling student to present articles which are not yours and be a critique, which also helped me in doing literature reviews and also evaluating others' work. So when I see myself right now back, I think each and every minor step at BSSC was a learning curve and something joyful with lots of good memories. So this is a very tough question. In fact, if I would like to say, I would say Dr. Suresh was the most influential person. The thing is, he gave a very different aura of an intellectual and a guru in the BSSC thing. So if I were to rate everyone, I would rate Dr. Suresh in the topmost and category, and I would again, I still mirror him. Whenever I think about it, I mirror him as one of the people who has influenced my life a lot. I then also would also encourage uh, others to get inspiration because he not only gives a full vibe of how to navigate through the research journey, but also to manage all the other things which makes you a good researcher. So I also had very good interactions with the current chair. He is also in touch with me, Dr. Kaushik, and he was again a person who used to always chill the mood out. So all the time, it's very important for us to acknowledge that research can be very stressful. At those points of time, being serious generally keeps and builds up stresses. So Dr. Kaushik has always been a mentor who would always crack up some jokes, lighten up the mood, and I would again stress that happy hours were really great. So I used to talk with Dr. Siddharth Junjunwala and Rachit Agarwal about my research progress and what to do, because I always aspired to be a faculty member anywhere, whether it would have been India in general case or anywhere else. So those interactions were very helpful. How to navigate through, how to write cover letters, how to reach out to people, how to make sense out of what we really seek in our academic settings. So those were really some of the faculties who inspired me. Of course, I am nothing without my advisors. Professor Surya Sarthi Bose and Professor Girdhar Madras. So, regardless of all those people who have touched my life at BSSC, my advisors were also very important, who really gave me a rational thought of how to navigate through the PhD journey, how to make a good research progress. But inspiration always draws out from different corners of BSSC. And when I look in through it, I think like the most inspirational was Dr. Suresh, followed by Dr. Kaushik Chatterjee and Rachit Agarwal and Siddharth Junjunwala. So everyone from the BSSC community were very nice and approachable, and they taught me different kinds of lessons in life. So whenever I used to have interactions, they were very different. So it's very difficult to rate people, but if I were to rate it blindly, I would rate Dr. Suresh as the best ever person to talk to at BSSC. So the most important thing to look from this perspective is how do we define a PhD journey? Right now, even when I am mentoring my own PhD students in my lab, the most important thing is research ethics, and to present and to have a timely manner of how to disseminate things. So BSSC curriculum on its own, right now it's bioengineering, the curriculum on its own is very rigorous. So it gives you first-hand information. The first thing to look for in a research curriculum is to have hands-on experience. So BE Practicum 1 and Practicum 2 gave me very intense exposure to how and to know how and how to build a research skill that would benefit me for my PhD journey. At the same time, BE courses are very interdisciplinary in nature. So it gives a flavor of different aspects of bioengineering, which takes significant impact when you go into real life. Now, the courses are designed in such a way that you are prepared to look at the same problem statement from very different perspectives, whether you are looking at it from biomechanics, where you are looking it for biomaterials, or it's biology and physiology. It does not matter. So the most important thing which gives a flavor in through BSSC's learning curriculum is the way it is formulated for the benefit of the students. Now, as a alum, I do realize that there is interdisciplinarity in each and every aspect of science. So BSSC curriculum made me prepare for this journey, and with rigorous practice, interactions, journal clubs, and annual research presentations, we cannot skip that aspect, made me look forward and already prepared way before I was even going for my comprehensive exams or to my thesis defense. Everything in the BE curriculum is fantastic to look at. So the most important thing to look at is value of time. So I understand that most of our research is answering a particular question or trying to understand what do you need to make ourselves compelling enough to solve a problem statement. So the most important research advice is to narrow down your career goal and to narrow down what you want to answer during your PhD research. Now, because PhD is a journey, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It is important that we work on the micro goals and define those micro goals eventually, day by day, and practice rigorously to make sure that we stick to those goals. Because once you define those milestones, then only you can redefine what you think a successful PhD path would be. Of course, the most important thing which a PhD student should do is document their failures more over their research success, because you would be documenting what not to do in the next time someone takes the same path. So as a PhD student, it is okay to accept failures, but it is not okay to not document those failures, because sometimes those failures become a part of a thesis journey also. It is also important that you start engaging with your labs very early in the season and not wait till the practicum comes in, because again, compared to other PhD programs at IISc, BSSC PhD program is a very different PhD program which brings you directly to your lab to force and to engage you with the interdisciplinarity and get you a jump start in the research program from the beginning. Do not take it for granted and start engaging with your lab members and learning what skills are required to actually translate your first research experiments. So if you are able to do the micro goals and manage those things in timely, if you are able to have milestones, if you communicate with your advisors very frequently, and you disseminate with your colleagues and your seniors, you are of course making your life easier. And that would be an advice which you should take as a mantra for your success. Now, it does not matter whether it's 4 years, you finish it 4 years, whether it is five, whether it's six, you are not there to judge it. So, as my former mentor at Caltech used to say, let your work be your judge and not you be the judge for it. Let your work define what you want to do and what you have to do to become successful, but not get demoted or demoralized by the outcomes of it. So that would be my advice for all the PhD students who would be aspiring to be and joining the BSSC program. I would share that the BSSC program uh, is housed in a very small corridor. It was somehow very unnoticed in the Center for Ecological Sciences, but it has grown a lot and we have expanded a lot. Now, looking at how BSSC has moved forward from not just going into the fundamental problems to directly collaborating with doctors and medical practitioners, I see that this program can have a huge impact on how we perceive things, how we make things, and how we see human relationships with biomaterials and their applications. So it is indeed a very transformative journey for this department. And looking forward, as an alum, I am very proud that this department is making a significant impact by generating engineers who could think critically and who are able to make difference to the society by looking at the same biological problems but from different eyes, maybe from an electrical engineer's perspective, a computational engineer's perspective, a chemical engineer's perspective, a material scientist's perspective, or whatnot. So this has been something which makes me feel proud, makes me feel connected, and makes me feel engaged. So if there is a way where we alums could always engage, like I had an interaction with Rachit, if there are ways where we could always come and talk with people, that would be something really interesting to note. But because of the time zone difference, it's very difficult for us to go and physically talk. But I would be very interested to talk to students who need advice or regarding how to build the research program, how to solve these micro goals, how to engage with researchers, and how to ask tough questions. Because these were the things which I learned in my BSSC life, to really critically question whatever I learn and to seek inspiration from people from very different facets of life.